Sir, we are cadets Hice, Johnson, and Maynard, and today we'll be discussing the problem of refugee radicalization in UCOM's AOR. So just to lay out a little roadmap for you for the next 10 minutes, we're going to discuss an overview of the problem, background information that's pertinent. We're going to move into a redefinition of the problem statement, and we're going to wrap it up with providing some candidate solutions and ultimately go into the methodology behind one of these candidate solutions.
Hello, sir. I'm Cadet Maynard, and today I will be giving you an overview of the current problem facing Europe. Right now, there's an influx of refugees pouring into Europe. The reason for this is a couple of reasons. There are instability in regions and countries such as Sudan, South Sudan, Somalia, the Congo, and Syria above all. What's happening in these areas is that whether it be due to a dictatorship or civil war, the quality of life has diminished greatly. In order to find a better quality of life, these refugees have moved to Europe hoping to increase their life. The issue with this is that the systems in place and the current infrastructure in Europe are not set to absorb this amount of people. The refugees are numbering in the millions and are currently located in refugee camps that harbor them. Right now, the refugee camps are also overcrowded, and this is leading to higher crime rates and low production in these countries. The refugees are unable to integrate into the labor markets and the community as a whole. What this results in and what we've seen is the radicalization and uprising and violence in a lot of these communities. Today we will provide solutions as to how we would face and solve the current problem in Europe.
Alright, sir, so to provide our redefined problem statement to you, to address an increase of radicalism among refugees, UCOM will increase healthcare, provide sponsored families, and increase access to clean water within the UCOM AOR. So, sir, to provide you with our first candidate solution, we will train one teacher for every 24 students, provide 3,000 calories per day for each refugee, and finally hire one policeman for every 17,000 refugees. So, really kind of give you a quick methodology behind this. So, one teacher for every 24 students. We looked up some good ratios to increase the effectiveness of the teaching, and this will give the kids better opportunities in the future going forward, finding jobs or vocational schools, moving on to university education, things of that nature. The second part of this, provide 3,000 calories per day. That's essentially the average amount of calories that a growing adult is going to need, a growing male adult. So this amount of calories would be sufficient for males, females, children, adults, everybody, and keep them healthy and out of the streets. And then finally, hiring one policeman for 17,000 refugees. This number was arrived at based on police per capita in major U.S. cities such as Chicago, New York, with higher crime rates, Detroit, things of that nature. So if we provide these police, it'll give good security for everyone. So overall, the things that this majorly looks at is going to be increasing education, providing basic living conditions, and ensuring safety and security for the refugees, which will overall give them a safer, healthier environment and foster social development so that they'll not turn to radicalization as easily.
Moving into candidate solution 2, we aim to provide an economic stimulus package in the form of subsidizing education and integrating refugees into the labor market. Talking about the education subsidy, what this will do is we hope to 100% pay for teacher salary, the cost of needs for the students, which includes supplies and transportation to school. The reason why we focused on the education subsidy is looking through economic models. We see that the increase in human capital will actually increase the overall productivity of a country. So by increasing education and subsidizing education, we increase the amount of people involved in it, and in doing so, we increase the human capital. Moving into the integration of refugees into the labor market, what we hope to do here is to provide a subsidy or a tax break to local business owners. The purpose behind this is that if we are going to offer a tax rate to them for hiring refugees, they will be more likely to hire refugees. This has the impact of getting refugees into the labor market, and in doing so, they get a steady salary and will increase consumption and hopefully move into some sort of permanent living condition as opposed to a refugee camp.
Hello, my name is Akil Johnson, Cadet Akil Johnson, and I'll be going over candidate solution number 3. So, first step of this is provide 3 general practitioners for each of the 150 refugee camps we have in UCOM AOR. Second step would be to provide 1 sponsor family for every 20 refugees. And the third step be to install 5 water pumps for every 150 refugees. How we came to this kind of solution is that overall we want to increase the well-being, the health, and also the assimilation of society. This together will decrease the need or the drive for refugees to radicalize and join the radicalization movement. Sir, going further into kind of solution number 3, we're going to give you some background on how we reached that solution. Starting off with the problem definition phase. In this phase, the first step of that is research and stakeholder analysis. We exhaustively researched for hours on end, looking at more than 80 sources together, trying to paint a better picture of our AOR that we are looking at. With this research, we came to our stakeholder analysis, which here you can see with the power interest matrix, that we are focusing on the people that have the most interest and power in the region. Here's a list of those people. UCOM, federal governments where refugees are fleeing, political leaders for refugees in the districts, and NATO. With this, we will go into the requirements that we need going further. Functional analysis, second step of the problem definition. As you can see here, our fundamental objective is to reduce refugee radicalization. Our functions to achieve this objective are 1, increase basic needs, 2, decrease anti-Western sentiment, and 3, improve living conditions. Our objectives here are the things that we're going to be focused on, but the value measures is how we're going to actually use that in our value model to get the answers that we need. Okay, now we will get into our requirement analysis. This is a snippet of what we actually had put all together. And essentially what this is detailing how we approached each of our interested parties. Starting with NATCOM/EU and federal government, so that what we've included in this snippet. As you can see here, we use interviews to target the high-level, high-interest people. And we gave them coordinating functions in our functional hierarchy that we briefed to you earlier. That way we can keep a strict line of traceability going through our entire project. So moving into the last step of the problem definition phase is our value model. We created the options that you see here using our value measures in our functional analysis. With this, we indicated our options and then assigned numeric values based on how effective they are at satisfying each of the value measures. So moving on into our solution design phase, first step of that is idea generation. With that, we use this Wiki's morphological box to identify our functions and create alternatives that satisfy those functions. With this box, we are able to create different ideas and different alternatives, link them together to create combinations of these to satisfy each of the three functions. Staying with our solution design phase, next up of that is alternative generation, which we use a feasibility screener. With this, our feasibility criteria are under $50 million, implementation time less than 6 months, and sustainable for over 5 years. With this, we were able to identify if each of our alternatives fit into these feasibility criteria. With that, we were able to create 4 different solutions that fit that. So the last step of the solution design is a cost analysis. This is how we were able to come up with if it fit our cost criteria or not. Outlined here are each of our alternatives and analysis on how much they will cost for 3-year increments.
All right, sir, so following that methodology, our recommended solution is to provide 3 general practitioners for each of the 150 refugee camps, provide 1 sponsor family for every 20 refugees, and install 5 water pumps for each of the 150 refugee camps. Thank you for your time, sir. Hopefully you enjoy this presentation. Finally, sir, if you wish to delve deeper into this issue or fact check anything or look for more sources, here are the sources we used in putting together our presentation.